everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we are going to look at a stock accessory for your, you go for actually a couple different guns. If you're looking at it from a Tippmann line, you're looking at the or the A5, the 98 Custom. If you go over to like the BTs, you're looking at the Combat Series or anything that has the same style back as the standard 98 Custom or the 98 Custom Platinum Series. There's two different versions. Obviously, you can see right here. One has a rounded end like this, which is going to be the 98 or the Combat version right there. And then this has the indexed back to it, which will be the A5 version. They are a composite material, so like a glass reinforced nylon. So they're super, super durable. You're not going to break them or crack them. They're not like toy plastic. They are structurally strong composites. Has 6 positions, so you've got 6 different options for position length once it's on the gun. A spring-loaded adjustment, so you pull it down and you can adjust it. And then once you've found a spot, I mean, you don't really need to hold on to it. It'll jump back into place. So you're not locking it into place. It sets itself in place. A couple different sling attachments. You have the side sling, which you can rotate around to be on either side. You can run it through the back, through the slot right here. So you have some choices on where you want to set the sling up, which is standard for a stock. It's not anything new or revolutionary. It's just that's how they set them up. You can run it either way. And then putting them on. Putting it on an A5 is very, very simple setup. You're going to just pull the pins out of the back of the gun. You're going to remove the original back plate like that. Pull this out. Remember, the spring and pin under here usually are under tension. So if you just pull this thing off, it could shoot right out. Or if you happen to have the gun cocked back before you pull this cap off, this is going to be under an extreme amount of load. If you just pull the pins out, it might actually shoot the cap off, and then you'll lose the spring and the pin as well. So make sure that the gun is decocked before you do that. I mean, something you should always do before you're doing any work on guns is degas, decock. But just be aware of that spring is going to want to come out of there. You just remove that and set it to the side. And then take this one. Make sure that the drive pin and the spring go into the hole that is in the front there. I'll make sure that that lines up. And then we can put that right in, and then we would put our pins back in. So setting up this stock is super simple on an A5 setup. But when it comes to a 98 setup, it's a little bit different right there. It requires a bit more work, and it is, well, I want to say a little bit more involved. It's a lot more involved. So if you're not comfortable with your 98 or comfortable taking it apart, you probably want to take this to have somebody do it, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you put it onto a 98 or the BT style Combat Series. So what you have to do with this particular gun, if you have a Platinum Series version like this one here, where the body is split into 2 pieces, you can just undo the rear screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can separate this back part of the body without touching the front part and put the stock in. Now, when you open this up and take it off of here, there's all sorts of little things that are going to want to move. You've got 3 or 4 pins for your trigger, two springs for your trigger, your safety, the hammer linkage, the spring, the drive nail. There's all sorts of stuff that are under pressure right now just because they're held in by the body. And as soon as you take that off, they're going to want to come apart and spring everywhere. So you'd be very, very careful when you take that apart. Lift that off, and then you're going to take this little cap off. You drop this in, and this is indexed and grooved, so you can't get it in the wrong spot. You drop it in. Put your, you actually probably want to put your drive nail and spring in first, drop it in, and then you put the top half back on just like a sandwich. That's on the Platinum Series. If you don't have a Platinum Series, it's even more difficult because you can't just take half apart on the older version. You have to take the whole body side apart. Take all the screws off, separate the 2 halves from each other, and when you pull this front half, or the front, or I shouldn't even say the front, the left half apart on the older versions, there's nothing holding anything in anymore. It'll all want to come apart inside there. So you want to make sure that you are working in a nice, clean area where it's easy to find things. If something falls on the ground, it's easy to find, because when you separate that half, it's going to just want to explode like a jack-in-the-box. So be very slow, be very deliberate when you're doing it. Try to hold everything in place and know where things go if it comes apart, where it goes back together. Otherwise, you could be stuck and having to take it to someone to fix it for you. Other than that, actually putting the stock in is simple. You just drop it in and you put the top back on. This one, you pull the back off and you put the stock in. This one just can be tricky with getting the parts back together. So if you're looking for an accessory that is just going to give the gun a little bit more comfort when shooting, or stability when you've got it up and shooting, because that stock, now you can rest the gun against your body. Check these out. Gen-X Global adjustable stocks, kind of like an M4 style or a carbine style. They're available through the website. They come in A5 style or 98 style. The 98 obviously is compatible with anything that runs in that 98 style. Available through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.